How to Use 24 Hours Properly to Succeed by Jim Roh. Introduction. Every individual, regardless of background or ambition, is granted the same 24 hours each day. It's a simple truth, yet most of us squander this invaluable currency on distractions, reactive tasks, or indecision. Jim Rohn, the legendary personal development coach, often emphasized that mastery of time is the cornerstone of success. In his own words, either you run the day or the day runs you. To harness the true power of time, we must first shift our mindset from viewing 24 hours as a passive span to treating it as a strategic asset that compels us to act with intention. This comprehensive exploration delves into Jim Rohn's timeless principles and offers practical guidance on transforming each day into a launchpad for achievement. Whether you're an aspiring entrepreneur, a seasoned professional, or someone seeking personal growth, the insights that follow will equip you to deploy your daily hours with purpose, discipline, and clarity. 1. The most precious asset, time. Time is incomparable to any other resource. Unlike money, which can be earned, invested, lost, and regained, time is irrevocable once spent. Jim Rohn frequently reminded his audiences that time is more valuable than money. For while financial setbacks can be remedied, misused hours can never be recovered. Recognizing 24 hours as our greatest asset means treating it with utmost respect. Every decision you make about how to spend a minute contributes to the trajectory of your life. Scarcity and equality. Each of us, from billionaires to street sweepers, receives an identical daily allotment of time. Rohn believed that success hinges less on innate talent and more on how individuals utilize their 24 hours. Opportunity cost. When you choose to scroll social media, you forego opportunities for skill acquisition, meaningful relationships, or physical well-being. Mindset shift. Transitioning from a passive consumer of time to an active steward requires awareness. Track your activities for a week to uncover hidden drains on your schedule. Viewing time as your most precious asset lays the philosophical groundwork. For strategic daily planning, when you treat hours with the same gravity as financial investments, every moment becomes an opportunity to build toward your vision. Point 2. Jim Rohn's philosophical foundation on time. Jim Rohn's approach to time management was deeply rooted in personal responsibility and foresight. He taught that success is not stumbled upon randomly, but engineered through disciplined routines. 3 core philosophical pillars underpin Rohn's time-centric teachings. Personal philosophy governs performance. Rohn asserted, your personal philosophy is the greatest determining factor in how your life works out. If you view time as limitless, you'll procrastinate. If you see it as finite, you'll plan meticulously. Cultivating a mindset that treasures time primes you for action and consistency. Law of averages. According to Rohn, success is neither magical nor mysterious. Success is the natural consequence of consistently applying the basic fundamentals. By applying the law of averages to time management, repeating productive actions daily, you exponentially increase your odds of success. Purpose-driven days. Without a compelling purpose, time becomes a void. Rohn urged everyone to anchor their daily activities to clear, motivating goals. Purpose infuses even mundane tasks with meaning, ensuring each hour serves a strategic function in your overarching life plan. Embedding these philosophical cornerstones into your worldview transforms time management from a chore into a meaningful practice. As you internalize personal responsibility, the law of averages, and purpose-driven intent, structuring your day efficiently becomes second nature. 3. Setting clear goals and priorities. Effective time utilization begins with clearly defined goals. Jim Rohn championed goal setting as the mechanism that directs your daily actions toward desired outcomes. A goal without a deadline is merely a wish, an idea that floats without momentum. Rohn recommended setting SMART goals: specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, time-bound, to create a tangible roadmap. Identify your major roles. Personal development, for example, learning a language. Health, for example, exercise regimen. Relationships, for example, quality family time, career, business, for example, revenue targets, finance, for example, savings goals, spiritual growth, for example, meditation or prayer. Define long-term and short-term goals. Long-term, 1 to 5 years. Examples include launching a business, writing a book, or running a marathon. Short-term, weekly, monthly, break long-term aspirations into smaller milestones. Completing market research, drafting a chapter, or increasing weekly running mileage. Prioritize by impact and urgency. Use the Eisenhower matrix, categorizing tasks as urgent, important, important, not urgent, urgent, not important, and neither. Rohn often stressed focusing on important but not urgent activities, the realm of strategic growth. Allocate time blocks. Assign dedicated time slots to each priority. For example, reserve morning hours for high-impact work when cognitive energy peaks, and schedule administrative tasks in the afternoon. By mapping goals to specific time allocations, you ensure that your 24-hour window is aligned with what truly matters. Prioritization is the compass. Without it, you risk navigating life rudderless, reacting to the trivial rather than shaping your destiny. For planning your day, hour by hour. Once you've crystallized your goals and priorities, the next step is to architect your day. Jim Roh advocated for structured daily planning, emphasizing that discipline is the bridge between goals and accomplishment. Here's how to plan your 24 hours effectively. Morning ritual, first 2 hours. Mindset preparation, engage in meditation. Visualization or affirmations to set a positive tone. Physical activation, light exercise, stretching, or a short walk boosts energy and focus. Learning window, dedicate 20 to 30 minutes to reading or listening to educational material. Prime work block, next 3 to 4 hours. High-value tasks. Tackle your most significant work that propels goals forward. In this uninterrupted span, aim for deep work. Avoid emails, calls, or social media. Midday break, 1 hour, recharge. Eat a nutritious meal, take a brief walk, or practice breathing exercises. Transition, use the final 5 minutes of your break to review progress and recalibrate the afternoon plan. Secondary work block, 2 to 3 hours, address important but lower intensity tasks, administrative duties, follow-ups, and scheduled calls. Late afternoon reflection, 30 minutes, daily review, compare tasks accomplished against the plan, notes for tomorrow, jot down unfinished items and insights for tomorrow's schedule. Evening routine lasts 2 to 3 hours, family and relationships. Prioritize quality time with loved ones. Personal growth, engage in a hobby or further learning. Rest preparation, wind down with light reading or relaxation techniques to ensure restorative sleep. This hourly blueprint, while adaptable, underscores a disciplined rhythm that maximizes focus during peak productivity and balances renewal phases to prevent burnout. Structuring your day in well-defined segments transforms 24 hours into a dynamic framework for achievement. 5. The Rule of 5 for daily disciplines. To sustain progress. Jim Rohn introduced the Rule of 5, a daily practice of identifying 5 critical activities that, if completed consistently, yield significant results over time. These activities should directly support your highest priorities. Define your 5. Brainstorm a list of tasks that align with your goals. Distill it to the 5 most impactful items. Example for a writer: 1. Write 500 words. 2. Research for 30 minutes. 3. Edit 1 chapter. 4. Outreach to 2 agents. Industry news. Schedule and execute. Slot each of the 5 tasks into your daily plan during your peak energy periods. Resist the urge to multitask. Focus singularly on each task before moving to the next. Track your consistency. Use a simple checklist or habit tracking app to mark completion. Strive for a 30-day streak. Rohn believed that consistency compounds more than intensity. Review and adjust weekly. At the end of each week, assess which of the 5 contributed most to progress. Refine the list for the coming week, rotating in new tasks as needed. By adhering to the Rule of 5, you cultivate daily momentum. This methodology leverages small, manageable actions to drive continual forward movement, embodying Rohn's philosophy that success is built one day at a time through steady habits. 6. Overcoming procrastination and distractions, a major barrier. 2. Effective time management is procrastination, fueled by fear, overwhelm, or lack of clarity. Jim Rohn famously said, "If you really want to do something, you'll find a way. If you don't, you'll find an excuse." To counteract inertia, clarify, and chunk, break overwhelming tasks into micro steps. Completing a small segment quickly reduces resistance to getting started. Use the 2-minute rule. If a task takes less than 2 minutes, do it immediately. This prevents small tasks from accumulating and cluttering your mental space. Eliminate triggers. Identify common distractions, social media alerts, email notifications, cluttered workspace, and remove them during focused work blocks. Time boxing and Pomodoro. Allocate strict time boxes. For example, 25 minutes of work, 5-minute break. This creates urgency and curtails drifting. Mindset reframe. View discomfort during work as a signal of growth. Replace "I have to" with "I choose to" foster ownership. Accountability partnerships. Share goals and deadlines with a peer or mentor. Public commitment significantly reduces the likelihood of PR. 7. The power of consistency and the compound effect. One of Jim Rohn's most powerful teachings is the compound effect. Small, consistent actions, repeated daily, accumulate into monumental results. Consistency transforms 24 ordinary hours into a potent mechanism for long-term achievement. Habits over intensity. It's better to read 10 pages a day than to binge read a book once a month. Marginal gains. Improve by just 1% daily. Over a year, you'll be 37 times better. Momentum. Outcomes. Lag behind inputs. Persistent effort builds momentum that eventually bridges the gap between aspiration and reality. To capitalize on the compound effect, focus on keystone habits. Identify foundational habits, for example, exercise, reading, planning that trigger positive ripple effects across other areas of life. Maintain a progress journal. Document daily wins and areas for improvement. Reviewing entries each week reinforces commitment and highlights growth trends. Celebrate milestones. Acknowledge weekly or monthly achievements to maintain motivation and cement the habit loop. Adjust for plateaus. When progress stalls, experiment with incremental tweaks. Shift timing, modify intensity, or introduce novel stimuli to reignite growth through unwavering consistency. Each day's disciplined actions coalesce into the vast edifice of success. Jim Rohn reminded us that the major value in life is not what you get. Major value in life is what you become. 8. Reflection, review, and adjustment to ensure 24 hours continue to be optimized. Incorporate regular reflection and adjustment cycles, a practice Jim Rohn described as essential for personal growth. Without feedback loops, you risk repeating ineffective patterns. Daily evening review, 10 to 15 minutes. Check off completed tasks and analyze deviations. Note wins and identify one lesson learned. Weekly strategy session, 30 to 60 minutes. Evaluate progress toward short-term goals. Adjust the rule of 5 and time allocations based on what's working. Monthly outcomes audit, 1 to 2 hours. Compare achievements against monthly objectives. Reassess priorities. Are certain goals outdated? Do new opportunities warrant a reshuffling? Focus. Quarterly vision alignment, 2 to 3 hours. Revisit long-term aspirations. Short daily routines and weekly plans serve the overarching vision. Celebrate major milestones and recalibrate for the next quarter. By weaving these reflection checkpoints into your schedule, you remain agile, quickly identifying and remedying inefficiencies. Rohn emphasized that formal education will make you a living. Self-education will make you a fortune. Continual self-assessment is the backbone of effective self-education. 9. A day in the life. Practical example to illustrate how Jim Rohn's principles coalesce into a tangible daily routine. Consider the following exemplar success day. While individual schedules will vary, The structure highlights strategic time allocation. 5:30 a.m. Rise and shine. 5:30 to 6 a.m. Hydration and basic stretching. Journal 2 pages. Gratitude, goals, reflections. 6 o'clock to 6:30 a.m. Meditation and visualization of daily outcomes. 6:30 a.m. Physical activation. 6:30 to 7 a.m. Cardiovascular exercise, brisk walk, or light jog boosting endorphins and alertness. 7 a.m. Learning window. 7 o'clock to 7:30 a.m. Read or listen to personal development content. For example, Jim Roh audio programs. 7:30 a.m. prime work block. 7:30 to 10:30 a.m. Deep work on high-impact tasks. For example, strategic planning, creative work, or revenue-generating client outreach. No email or phone distractions. 10:30 a.m. midday recharge. 10:30 to 11 a.m. healthy snack. Brief mindfulness session and a quick walk. 11 a.m. secondary tasks. 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. administrative duties. Responding to critical emails, scheduling. 1 p.m. lunch and leisure. 1 o'clock to 1:45 p.m. Balanced meal and light social time or reading for enjoyment. 1:45 p.m. Afternoon power block. 1:45 to 3:45 p.m. Client calls. Team meetings or project follow-ups, structured within tight agendas to avoid overruns. 3:45 p.m. Afternoon tea break. 3:45 to 4 p.m. Tea or coffee, casual chat with a colleague or friend to reset focus. 4 p.m. Learning and development. 4 o'clock to 5 p.m. Skill improvement. Practicing a new software, language study, or professional certification coursework. 5 o'clock p.m. Daily review. 5 o'clock to 5:15 p.m. Compare completed tasks with the plan. Note unfinished items for tomorrow. 5:15 p.m. Family and relationships. 5:15 to 7 p.m. Quality time with family or close friends. Shared dinner. 7 p.m. Personal enrichment. 7 o'clock to 8 p.m. Pursue a hobby, a creative project, or reading for inspiration. 8 p.m. to preparation for tomorrow. 8 o'clock to 8:30 p.m. Lay out tomorrow's clothes. Prepare materials. Review schedule. 8:30 p.m. Wind down routine. 8:30 to 9:30 p.m. Light stretching. Gratitude journaling. Brief reflection on the day's lessons. 9:30 p.m. Restful sleep. Aim for 8 hours of sleep. Setting an early bedtime to ensure peak performance at tomorrow's start. This template exemplifies how each block, rooted in Jim Rohn's time management doctrines, serves a strategic purpose. Adapt the timings and activities to fit individual circumstances, but preserve the balance of high focus, renewal, and growth. Conclusion: mastering your 24 hours isn't about packing every minute with tasks. It's about intentional structuring, disciplined execution, and continual refinement. Jim Rohn's legacy teaches us that time, once respected and harnessed, becomes the architect of our destiny. Through clear goal setting, structured daily planning, the rule of 5, and unwavering consistency, you transform ordinary hours into stepping stones toward extraordinary outcomes. Embed regular reflection. Slay the dragons of procrastination, and let the compound effect amplify your daily efforts as you adopt these principles. Remember Rohn's timeless reminder: time is more valuable than money. You can get more money, but you cannot get more time. Commit to stewarding each second with purpose, and watch as the disciplined deployment of your 24 hours propels you toward lasting success. Thank you for watching. Share it with the people around you.